When is the right time for a company to have a website?
People register domain names when they have an idea. The amount of domain names being registered and the websites being published is at its highest point ever. We see a lot of new companies from Sharjah opening up and publishing websites online. You need to be professional and I need to look professional online.
Is there anything you do differently to cater to the audiences in Sharjah?
Not everyone has 10,000 dirhams to build a website, so we make our services affordable. Expansion in all ways, always.
Welcome to Rising Sharjah, where we spotlight the digital innovators shaping the UAE's future. Today we're joined by Wahid Aziz, CEO of Tasjeel.ae, a leading force in UAE's domain registration and web hosting services. Welcome to the show, Wahid.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get right in. Can you start off by telling us your journey of going from a tech enthusiast to being today the CEO of Tasjeel.ae?
Alhamdulillah, I've been very blessed to have the experiences that I've had in my career to now owning and running Tasjeel.ae. I wanted to bring my experience from the West to the region and be part of Dubai's vision of, or the UAE's vision of being number one in the GCC and worldwide. And historically, I started in university where I was studying multimedia technology. And the elements were in there was teaching me the technicalities of the internet, like website design and how the internet works, and the theory of the internet and how you ride those waves. So after my degree, I got a job at the number one domain registrar in the UK called 123reg. And we built a great business across Europe. And we were then acquired by GoDaddy for 1.6 billion in 2016. So I met my business partner, Dominic Taylor, then, and I was telling him about the UAE and the opportunities. And we decided to launch a test brand. And alhamdulillah, within 9 months, we were ranking on page 1 in position 8. So we had a further discussion and we said, we should acquire someone to speed up our market share, increase it really quickly. We came across Tasjeel.ae, we acquired it in 2018 and here we are today.
That's amazing. In fact, what I learned about Tasjeel.ae is you all run a very lean team. Can you tell us what is your psychology behind it and how does it enable you to take your business to the next level?
Having a lean team means operational excellence, in my opinion. We only hire people that are technically minded, but they also have an entrepreneurial mindset. And that's really important for them to kind of understand what our customers go through. They care about if someone's website is down. They understand what it means when someone's website is down or their email's not working. And the other aspect about a lean team, it's a great environment to work in. We're all thriving, everyone's pushing at 100%. So, it's a no-brainer that you'd want to be always firing off on all cylinders to support people and work in a great company.
But let's talk about how the brand of Tasjeel.ae has evolved very quickly from being basic domain hosting to now being a very comprehensive hosting offering that you give the customers. How did this evolution happen?
Certainly. So we acquired Tasjeel for 2 reasons. One is speed up our market share in DOI registrations and hosting services. And number 2 was to have a bigger client base that we can offer our innovative products and services to. Not all businesses are the same and everyone has different requirements. So before we acquired Tasjeel.ae, it only sold 1 domain extension. Straight away, we boosted that to over 100. We launched servers in different locations around the world. And to give you an example of why we did that, we had a customer who is located here, but his customers are in Singapore. So he gets 2 benefits. He gets access to us on his, in his home in a country where he understands the support, he understands the brand. And the other benefit is that the website is being delivered to his customers in a very fast way, which gives them a great experience.
What I understand from what you're saying is you are aware of the pulse of each and every customer. You have created a service that caters to their unique needs. What strategies would you say you've employed to keep your customer needs at the focus of what you do?
So we implemented 2 key strategies at Tasjeel. One was to take the weaknesses and turn them into strengths. And number 2 was about innovation and being friendly. So within the first 30 days of acquiring the company, we launched a new website and order process to remove the jargon and to streamline the process of getting online. And number 2, which was innovative for us, is that we launched live chat on the first day of acquiring the company. And that enabled people to not have any back and forth. They can have quick support with first-time resolutions.
That brings me to the Emirate of Sharjah. Is there anything you do differently or specifically to cater to the audiences in Sharjah?
From what I see, Sharjah is absolutely thriving. We see a lot of new companies from Sharjah opening up and publishing websites online, which is overall great for the UAE. We at Tasjeel, we're absolutely proud of, being the number one domain registrar and .ae provider. And we cater to services in different ways. So we focus on the .ae domain name because that's what's needed and that's what we're accredited for. But we sell the other extensions depending on the customer needs. Also, we brought in DIY services on a budget. Not everyone has 10,000 dirhams to build an app or to build a website. So we make our services affordable. So for example, for 25 dirhams, you can get a domain name, website, and email all together for you to build your digital presence. And lastly, we introduced UAE-based servers. Now, there's 3 key benefits that I tell customers about with UAE hosting. Number one is the speed of your website being delivered to your website visitor. Usually, before we acquired the company, people were hosting in the US. Now, the website to get from the US to the UAE has to hop through the different countries. But when the server's based in country, the hop is just one. Right. Whoever accesses your site, it goes straight to them. The second benefit is SEO, because search engines like Google love a fast loading website. That's an indication to them that it's a healthy, good experience for the website visitor. Lastly, there was a new federal law that came out. I think it's Federal Law 2 in 2019, Article 30, which is that for the medical industry, they have to keep the customer data in the UAE. And that's about data integrity. And it's not only for the medical field, it's also for the law field. But there's other customers out there, or there's other people out there that do want to keep the data within the UAE and not send it out.
Coming from an area of expertise, I think you would be the best person for me to ask this question, especially because of the amount of value it has for our audiences, which is potential or budding entrepreneurs. When is the right time for a company to have a website? And then when should they start with their domain registration and hosting?
Commonly, what I've seen in my experience is that people register domain names when they have an idea and they launch an MVP. So they have a minimal viable product and then they test it out. They test out the market. Now, to give you some examples of what MVP could look like is you have a domain name and it has FAQs. So people can decide, do they want to further contact you to discuss, what you're doing to what they need. The second thing is that people just use it for an email address to communicate online. And then you have some socialpreneurs, right? Someone who has a business on Instagram. They can register the domain name with us, forward it to their Instagram page, but more importantly, they can get an email with us so that they can communicate professionally online. Right. I mean, if you deal with someone who has a Gmail address or a Hotmail address,
it lacks credibility.
Nowadays, like with the increase that you see in fraud and security and stuff like that, before 5 years ago, it was fine. You can deal with a random WhatsApp number or a Gmail address. But nowadays you can't. You need to be professional online. You need to look professional online.
Which brings me to my next question about the future of web hosting and domain registration. Where do you see this industry going? What are the trends you foresee in the near future?
In the UAE, the amount of domain names being registered and the websites being published is at its highest point ever, which is absolutely great. Yeah. To give you some stats, during the middle of the pandemic, so let's say Q1 2021, the average net new .ae registrations was around 5,000, which was a nice sharp rise from what it was before. However, Q1 2024, the average net new is 10,000. It's a 100% increase. And the indicator there is that with a domain name, what happens after that? People launch a website that's either informational or about e-commerce, or, they get an email address. So it's an indication that with the activities and the amount of domain names being registered, people are doing stuff with it afterwards.
That's amazing. Let's come to a very interesting question now. We want to know your secrets. Is there any innovative solution that might not be widely known, but you've implemented at Tasjeel.ae that has significantly affected your operations?
So we pride ourselves on providing quick and fast support with the aim of first-time resolution when you contact us. And the innovative part was the live chat. So people could come and speak to us, but they're not speaking to bots. They're speaking to real humans. Yeah, they type their issue and they speak to a real human straight away. And, with that, I've got a pet peeve in the UAE where, you go to the shops or you call a call center and you're getting bounced around. Not everyone knows the information. It's not consistent. So, Dom and I, we run a very flat organization. There's Dom and myself who own and manage the business, and then we have the rest of the staff. But the thing that's interesting is that Dom and I are still involved in support tickets and live chat. So, our customers know us by name, but they don't know we own the company. And that builds an amazing environment. And that element of the live chat really helps customers because they can have the data of what they've discussed. They can refer to it afterwards if they message us on WhatsApp, or we can send them the transcript afterwards. But it gives us the opportunity to have that interaction with them to really fix their issue, because if they message us on our other screens, we can have multiple windows open to see what the issue is and implement fixes.
So it wouldn't be surprising if one of our customers, goes on a live chat and they're actually speaking with you or Dom, who are the owners of the company.
It's not uncommon. It's common. Like, I had the SPC client contact me yesterday, and he emailed me directly and was asking about domain names, web hosting, email hosting. Within the space of 4 hours from him messaging me and him going back and forth about his requirements, he was a client.
And I think that's also an amazing customer retention or, relationship building strategy, where the owners and founders are in touch with the actual customer. And again, another benefit of running a lean team where you're on it, you're always on.
Correct. And I'll reiterate that our mantra is super important. So our mantra is support is not a department, it's an attitude. And that's needless to say what we focus on every single day. I hate when you get bumped to different departments for support. For me, I want everyone to know all the information that they need. And even if they don't know, Dom and I are available as escalation points, not only for the team, but also for customers, because we're able to approve things that maybe my staff are not able to approve, but we're all there to service and support their clients.
Which brings me to a very important question, just leading on from what you said, it's your mantra at the company. Every entrepreneur has some guiding principles which they stand by or which take them to the next level and to grow in their company. What are your guiding principles?
It's the same as our mantra. Support is not a department, it's an attitude. And that's our business. Our business is supporting clients with getting online. We provide easy to use tools for people to register domain names, create email addresses, set up on Outlook or whatever it is, build a website with WordPress or build it with our website building solution. But where we really come in is to support them. It's not only technical issues or queries. We also give guidance on what to build the website with, what's possible. So if someone has WordPress, for example, and they say, my website's slow, we will give them guidance on what caching plugins that they can install to make their website faster. So I know I've repeated it, but really this mantra that we developed when we bought the company, because of the lack of support I had, has carried us, through to where we are today.
That's amazing. And that brings me to the last question of our podcast today. Where do you see Tasjeel.ae going in the next 5 years? What are the technological advancements, or what's in the pipeline? What can we expect from Tasjeel.ae?
There's an interesting quote by a guy called Ryan Serhant. I don't know if you've seen the show $1 Million Listings New York.
No, I haven't. I've seen a lot of selling Sunset, selling the OC, but not $1 million listings, because I'm really into real estate.
Okay.
I love the industry.
When you get a chance, please watch $1 Million Listings New York.
Yeah.
And his quote is expansion in all ways, always. Yeah, which is a really good quote.
That's really good.
Yeah, that I like. So for us, our expansion plans are about going to other GCC countries. We see other places in the GCC that are buying from us. So it's indicating that we should expand the brand to those places and provide our service. Other than that, we look at our products and services. We want to leverage the power of AI. AI is here to stay. We've introduced it. So for example, we are the first registrar from TDRA to launch their .ae AI domain search, where instead of just searching for a domain name, you can write a description of your product or service, and it will provide you available .ae domain names that you can register straight away. And then the other element is in the website building process, which is a stumbling block for people. What do I write on my website? What should I write? So we have an AI tool that can do the copywriting for you. So we want to further that out and further explore it. But a problem that I have, the question that I'm currently trying to deal with is, how can I enable my customers to protect their brand in the GCC? So they'll build a website for the UAE and it's UAE centric. How do you then expand it to Qatar or Bahrain or Saudi? And the requirements for the different domain extensions around the GCC are not all the same. The .ae is very much like .com. Anyone can register it if it's available, but the other countries have their requirements. So the question that I ask myself currently is, how can I enable UAE businesses to expand out in the GCC with protecting their brands with those domain names?
It's amazing to know that in the pipeline, not only do you have expansion geographically in the GCC, but you're also implementing AI, which is the next big thing across sectors, especially for you in tech. It's like the logical next step. I think this is also very exciting for our audiences to know. Wahid, it gives me great pleasure to meet entrepreneurs like you. And I feel today's session has been exceptionally educational for me. And I'm sure our listeners can have a lot of takeaways from this. I'd like to end with thanking you for coming in today. It was great meeting you.
Thank you. You're too kind. I appreciate it. Great session.
Thank you.